Hey guys, Left Lane here, and it's me, Chris,
Me, Nick.
and we're here to show you guys what's brand new in the auto industry. So here's the CLA, you guys, and it's a really cool car, I have to say. It's going to start just under $30,000. It's going to have a cool 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which is going to crank out 208 horsepower and 256 pound-feet of torque. It's also going to be attached to a 7-speed double clutch, which is really cool. You don't find them in smaller cars, and I'm really hoping that they're going to have an optional manual. It's not looking like it, though. It's going to be front-wheel drive with an available all-wheel drive, which is kind of weird. I wish they kind of had a real-wheel drive, but we'll see when it comes out how good it is handling-wise. And there's also an AMG in the works, which should be awesome. In my opinion, I really love this car. I love how it looks like a smaller version of the CLS, how affordable it's going to be, how it's going to be a great everyday sports car, and how just cool and elegant it looks. I really hope they've got a nice manual that I can pick up because I really like the look of this vehicle.
From superb looks to a refined engine, Mercedes has finally built an affordable sports car that will be fun to drive and easy on gas. And although it is originally cheap, will it remain that way? Will it be reliable? We will just have to wait and see. Hopefully Mercedes will lose some of the pointless electronics and focus on a good manual sports car. This is the 2013 Scion FRS rear-wheel drive sports car. Its secret is it's the twin to the Subaru BRZ, which you may have noticed they look a lot alike. They're built on the same solid platform with the same engine. It puts out 200 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque, running on a 4-cylinder boxer engine, a project that Toyota and Subaru have worked on for quite some time now. It's offered in a 6-speed manual transmission or an auto manual transmission, and all of them are rear-wheel drive. The BRZ has a few more options, but is also a few more $1,000. It has navigation standard and it has a push start. Basically, Toyota's finally built a fun rear-wheel drive 6-speed sports car comparable to the Toyota Supra, which was famous, and for some reason it was discontinued, but they've kind of brought it back here. It's quick, it's reliable, and will blow your shorts off just at around the mid-20s. Thank you.
I have to say, guys, I completely agree. I'm the same way. It's awesome that there's finally a cheap, nice, proper 6-speed sports car. Maybe it's not the fastest things out there, but it's definitely the cheapest. So right here we've got the 2014 brand new Stingray Corvette that was just unveiled at the Detroit Auto Show not too long ago. Me personally, I think it's going to be a pretty cool car. It's definitely a lot different, more different looking than the older Corvettes. I think it's really showing a new chapter in Corvette history, a new chapter in the Corvette book. So this one's going to have a 6.2 liter V8. It's got a 7-speed manual, just like the new 911, and it's going to have about 450 horsepower with 450 pound-feet of torque right at the baseline model. So it's going to be decently powerful, should be under $100,000, I'm sure. That's where the normal Corvettes are at. And, well, I'm looking forward to seeing what this is going to be like. Hopefully it'll definitely handle a lot better than the older Corvettes. It looks like it will. Nick, what do you think about it? I know you don't quite like it as much.
Well, this is my take on it, Chris. Although the Corvette has got a newer body style, Chevy has kept their same big V8 block formula that just hasn't worked for the past 60 years. I still don't like it. It might be lighter, but I don't think the handling is going to improve that much. Finally, it is borderline offensive that they would even call this a Stingray. The Stingray was a true, cool, American-made car that everybody could take pride in. This, not so much. It looks like it came out of a movie from like Back to the Future. It's just not a good car for me. I much prefer a European sports car such as the 911 that has better handling, a traditional proper gearbox, and that's all.
Okay, well, we'll look to see that in the future, definitely for sure. So right here we've got the brand new Viper. It came out a little less than a year ago. It's a pretty cool car. It's still definitely got the old Viper big engine light car type feel to it. It's got an 8.4 liter V10, which is huge. It's got 640 horsepower with 600 pound-feet of torque, and there's an available ACR track version, which doesn't have a big wing, but adds some good big Brembos on there and takes a little bit of weight off of it, so it's a little bit better on the track. I I kind of like this car, kind of like the Corvette. It's still cheap. It starts under 100 grand still. The ACR version is gonna be about 130-ish. But it's pretty cool muscle car, I guess, if you've got the money to spend on a muscle car that expensive. I would definitely rather have a Ferrari or a Porsche, but a Ferrari is definitely probably 3 times the price of this. And a Porsche being just about the same, I'd definitely go for the Porsche. Nick, what do you feel about it?
Well, like I say with any muscle car, it's just it doesn't wow me in any way, shape, or form. The Dodge Viper, it's like that guy that works at the office that hasn't grown up yet. It's a refined Batmobile. I mean, look at it. Cheap interior touches in and out. You can tell the interior is American made. Come on, this car needs to grow up. It looks like the same thing that I saw 5 years ago when Drake and Josh drove this car, and it was cool then, but it hasn't had any major changes. And although it's pretty perky, it's got a nice engine, still wouldn't go with it. It's got that big engine, light body, just formula that just doesn't work for me. You'd be better off with going in an M5. Heck, get an M3 even. It won't set you back 40 grand, 40 more grand, and it's a better choice, it's better handling, and you're going to be turning more heads in it. Dodge Viper, not for me.
Hey guys, right here, we've actually got the older Enzo right here, and now some rumored pictures of the brand new Enzo that's supposed to come out in any time now. It'll definitely be so exclusive, it'll be so hard to get unless you get invited by Ferrari, and probably less than 1,000 people will be able to get one of these. But it'll definitely be cool to see on Top Gear and to see in big races and to see in all kinds of things like that. See how quick it is, see if it's just as iconic as its sister, the original Enzo that came out a while ago. How about, do you like it, Nick?
Well, I like this car a lot. I mean, I'm a huge Ferrari fan. Love Ferraris. Love the Enzo when it came out. Such an iconic design, such a different and risky move than what all the other auto companies were doing at the time. Far ahead of its time. 458 came out, wowed me even more. Phenomenal car with magnetic suspension, double clutch system, just slaying the competition away. Expecting this new Enzo to be even better. Phenomenal design so far, can't wait to see it. Possibly the greatest thing since sliced bread, the Range Rover. Love this car. Just when you think it can't get any better, it always gets better. Example, the Sport, the Evoque, and now the 2013 Range Rover Autobiography released at the Detroit Auto Show. Phenomenal car. Love this thing in and out, exterior appeal, styling, off-road heritage. It's got it all. It's the only SUV that can do all of that. Some people like Cayennes more, and some people like Q7s, and even MLs. However, I tell them those things don't have any off-road capabilities, therefore they're just pointless big SUVs. They might be quick, but at the same time they can't go off-road and do many of the features the Range Rover can. The Range Rover will always take the path that's less traveled by because it can get there anyway. It's such a classy and iconic design, especially the Evoque. I mean, if you look at this interior, beautiful wood, nice light colored seats, leather, it's all there. Phenomenal design, heated and cooled, front, back, rear, you name it, it's got it all. Plus it's got tons of storage if you're going on those long road trips, or even if you're just taking a trip over to the Grammy Awards. Phenomenal car, and that's why some of the classiest people in the world drive these cars. Example, Mila Kunis drives this car. You can't get any classier than her, you can't get any classier than this Range Rover. And besides all this elegance and class that this Range Rover has, let's take a look at what it's got under the hood. 5-liter V8, standard. Phenomenal choice by Range Rover, going with a big engine again. They don't care about the environment, they care about making their customers happy, and that's what they're doing. In fact, if you want to up your game a little bit, try the 510 horsepower supercharged V8 that's offered in this car. I can't emphasize enough how much power that is. Gosh, what a great engine, staggering performance. It's putting out so much horsepower, it's just phenomenal SUV all the way around. It can do all the above, it can go on all the areas. And ever since Jaguar's taken over, and I hate to criticize BMW, they've done a much better job making more reliable cars. Land Rover's produced the LR2 and LR4, which have been pretty reliable, and the Evoque, which has gotten high marks so far. I hope to see the same in this Range Rover. Chris, tell me what you think about this Range Rover.
I just have a couple of problems with the Range Rover, and that's what gives me a little bit of mixed emotions with this car. I love the look, I love the style, I like Range Rovers, but there are just some huge downsides that you have to consider. Number one, they're hugely expensive. Number 2, nowadays instead of being used for what they were meant to be used for, which was off-roading, that's what they were made for, that's their heritage, they're normally used by the Real Housewives of Orange County on those reality shows, which is really frustrating. Number 3, they have proven to be extremely unreliable, and I think that's the one that really makes me not want to get this car. I really love it. I think if this car was as reliable as a Lexus, I would get this car. I think if this car was even as reliable as a Wrangler, which isn't really spectacular reliability, but at least it's decent, I would still get this car. It's just, I can live with a high, expensive price with all that horsepower, with all that luxury. I get that. I can live with some random woman that knows nothing about cars driving this car because it is cool. It is definitely good looking. The thing that kind of makes it or breaks it here for me is reliability, because normally when I look to an SUV, I look to something that's reliable. I don't know, I just see that in SUVs and I just don't see it here, although I definitely say it's a cool car. I think it's definitely a good car to lease just because you know it's not going to last you necessarily very long, but it'd still be a cool car to have. So that's my view on it.
Yeah, Chris, I can't disagree with you on the reliability issues that Land Rover's had. Huge problems, electronics, anything in that car, although it may look good, it might have a few problems, and that's why I deem Range Rovers to be somewhat evil in a way.
Okay guys, this is the last car we're going to show you today, and it's the new Pagani Huayra, which is a name that means the great wind, and basically that name tells it all. It's a crazy car. Cost over $1 million, has about 720 horsepower, 740 pound-feet of torque. It's actually got 4 flaps on the car that when you're going around the corner, say 50 miles an hour, this flap over here goes up 30 degrees, this flap over here goes up 25 degrees, this one goes 17, and this car basically just goes through some algorithms that just knows those exact angles, which is crazy, and I guess that's what you pay for that amount of money. Basically, it's just a super expensive, crazy car. I kind of like it. It's kind of cool car. Probably really hard to get. Nick, what do you think about it?
Well, I'm not denying that this is an unstoppable, unbeatable machine right here. Serious car we're talking about. 0 to 60, just 3 seconds exactly. It's got a 36 valve V12, which is just impressive, staggering performance. However, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's ridiculous. It's so overpriced. 7-figure numbers. I'm thinking this car is a $200,000 car tops. Overall design, interior nice, exterior not so much. It looks kind of childish, and that just, I want to see a proper sports car here. I'm into Ferrari 458s, Lexus LFA even. That's about the farthest I'll go in that direction. Just don't think it's worth what it's priced at.
So first off, guys, we wanted to thank you guys for watching. We wanted to let you guys know right quick that we didn't take any of these pictures, and we're just making sure to follow the copyright laws. We didn't take any of those pictures. We just did the voiceover over them. Also, Nick, you want to tell them what they can do for us?
Oh yes, we hope that you can comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your grandma, tell your mom, tell your uncle, tell your brother-in-law that we're here on YouTube and we're doing car reviews. We hope that you will tell us suggestions for cars to do in the future, comment about your thoughts on this review, and just any opinions you have on any of these cars or any new information. We thank you. Thanks again, guys.